last episode, Emily spent the whole day inside. It was terrible weather outside and had not searched the whole building yet. She spent the morning reading a book and watching TV. She searched and secured the building, now armed to her teeth if she wanted. The very next morning, dedicated to expand her search, she went outside to explore the camp further. Emily accidentally triggered an alarm in one of the gatehouses. All hell broke loose, and that's what Emily just went through. A complete chaos between life and death, forced to shoot and kill all those infected people. Emotionally devastated, scared, exhausted, sweaty, hungry, and with no more ammunition, she had to go back. Determined to continue out there, but she needed a short break. She could not hold back the crying of all the impressions that just reflected her presence. All the killing, the blood and grunting. All people who have become infected without the opportunity to return to life. Emily felt desperately the need to lie down for a bit. She put the alarm about an hour ahead. She closes her eyes with all the dead bodies reflected on her eyelids. The alarm wakes her up, as if some unknown force is causing her to get out of bed. She stands up. And like a programmed robot, she begins to gather and prepare to go out again. She makes sure she refills all the magazines and put all the ammunition she can fit in her backpack. Her stomach is going and her body needs energy. She goes to the kitchen and stuffs herself with some sliced potatoes. She carries out the dead body and quickly notices some infected are very close and takes action. Keeping the ground more clean, she starts to pile up the dead bodies. Ah, shit, that hurts bad. Emily scratches up a bleeding wound on her arm and has to take care of it. The last body, the bathroom, she carries it out. Then she takes a short snack break before she continuing the search of the fort. The areas are once again insecure from the alarm incident, and she must tread carefully. Back at the gate area, more infected still lingers. Before Emily can get into the hospital, she really needs to know the areas around are clear so the infected have less chance surprising or even surrounding her. She starts moving up to the parking lot and to where the hospital is. Standing asleep, the infected lingers in groups on the parking lot. With the muffler on the gun, Emily handles the infected so much more smoothly. But the pain and the situation ongoing, being forced to kill, torments her. She's now right outside the actual hospital. It looks rather calm from the outside. But before she moves into it, she must take care of the nearby vicinity. Emily spots a van on the parking lot. She will definitely look into that when the area is safe. To the southeast of the parking lot, there are several barracks. Emily knew about this, but has never been into them before. She decides the barracks area must be searched and secured before moving into the hospital. Way too close. Oh no. There's too many here. I must head back a bit. The areas outside the barracks are now more or less secured. She carefully starts to search and secure the inside of the barracks. While searching, Emily can't stop thinking of her family. She has a feeling of being too naive. Who am I to think I can find something to do with the virus once I'm inside the hospital? Maybe I should just check the van as soon as possible. It might be my ticket out of here. She quickly shakes off the thought of leaving the fort until she searched the hospital. I would never forgive myself if there is something I could use in there. Emily finds a lot of useful items inside the searched barracks. There are still barracks to search, but the time is late and Emily is starting to get tired. And tiredness is dangerous. She has already learned her lesson about that. As she approaching the van, walking the parking lot, she noticed something on the ground. It looks like a car key. It is a key. Pray to the gods that this can be used for the van. Oh crap, the lock is broken. Emily starts to do an overall check of the van. She has learned the basics from her brother and her eye to get a quality check of the vehicle parts. Damn it, there is no gasoline. All dry. With a newfound headache, the van, there is nothing she can do really. If and only if she can find fuel here, the van is back in play. Tired and exhausted, Emily heads back to her corner of the fort. Back at her room, she drops the heavy bag on the ground and replaces her dirty bandage. She does a cloth cleanup. Eats the last sliced potato she has. And Then she starts to unpack her new found goods.
This week he hosted his second annual Global Initiative Forum in New York. More than $7 billion was spent to tackle some of the worst.
She has almost reached max capacity regarding the storage. She needs to fix that issue soon.
I'm 60 years old and I've damn near died, and I'm worried about how many lives I can.
When finished unpacking, she then just throws her clothes on the floor. With an empty gaze, she then starts walking towards the shower in only her underwear. Her thoughts are spinning and she cannot think straight. In the back of her mind, she can only see all the dead bodies scattered on the ground. She, a doctor, and with a life devoted to save lives, has extinguished all its infected hopes of return. The sweet taste from the ice cream somewhat relieves the mental stress and torment that haunts Emily. It's almost 1:30 at night. Exhausted, she heads back to her room and gets ready for sleeping. She sets the alarm quite early to be able to use the full day in daylight. She takes some sleeping pills to more safely get all the hours of sleep through the night. Emily wakes up from the alarm and gets up. Since she already did everything ready yesterday, she just needs to get dressed to be ready. Hears a low hissing sound. It sounds like it comes from adjacent room. She sneaks gently forward and notices an infected. With some habit now, she makes sure that the infected person notices her and that it follows her. She does not want to see more blood than necessary on the inside of this facility. She then runs across the courtyard road towards the forced barracks. and go straight through. Continuing searching and securing the area around the barracks is her first priority of the day. From nowhere, an infected suddenly catches Emily from behind. Luckily, she got her hand up to defend herself, but the infected caused a bleeding scratch on her hand. Somewhat surprised, there are relatively many infected around the barracks. When the near area had been secured, Emily starts to search the barracks. And as yesterday, the barracks are filled with useful goods. She found a very useful chest harness that suits her perfectly for ammunition storage. Emily continues to securing the east area of the barracks. More infected are sighted. A bunker could be sighted further east. She continues to search the barracks. Her aim with the pistol has really improved. She's a lot more comfortable using it now. Jesus, this looks like an anti-tank weapon. She found more really big backpacks. Walking through the barracks feels a little bit like Christmas shopping in an unreal dream. Who would have thought that she stored weapons and ammunition for her own survival and defense? Emily starts to get really heavy loaded. It hurts in her arm and thinks she has to go back and unload. Finally, on her way back, she feels relieved to have searched through and secured all open areas around the hospital and at the gate. She will search and secure the northern and the northwestern part at the same time as she searched the hospital. Back at the facility, she's very exhausted in her body of everything she carried. Back at her room, she starts to unpack everything and tries to sort, but she really needs more storage. The Carpenter show in the background she listens to with interest while unpacking. Her thoughts are that she needs some rest and to fill her belly with some food before going out again. But her focus now is to search the hospital next.